hope you had a wonderful and relaxing weekend. This is going to be your lesson for Monday/Tuesday, depending on if you're remote or in person. But your homework is just going to be B and D of problem 919, so the problem that we did not get to during class on Friday. All right, so let's take a look at 919. We're going to do A and C together. All right, so it is using what we know about triangles, what we learned on Friday, and angle relationships to find any missing angles. All right, so let's take a look at A. We determined on Friday that a triangle, all of the angles add up to 180 degrees. So what do we think the best way to solve for X would be? Well, if all of these angles have to add up to 180, then why don't we do that? So we have X plus 2X plus 30 equals 180. All right? And at this point, we just solve for X. So in this case, X would be, let's see, if we do subtract 30 from both sides, and let's actually combine the X's. So we have 3X equals 150, and now we have X equaling 50. All right, but we are not done yet. All right, this actually only gives us one of our angles. This gives us this angle, right? Because X equals 50 degrees. But here with this angle, what do you think we have to do? Well, we have to plug in X to this angle, right? So 2 times 50 equals 100 degrees, right? So this angle would be 100 degrees. And let's double check, does this add up to 180? Well, let's see, if we have 100 degrees here, plus 50 degrees plus 30. And yes, it does add up to 180 degrees. All right, so that's how we would solve for those angles right there. Now let's try this other one. So the reason why I picked C is because it's a little more complex, but I love how it's in pieces, all right? So we actually have 3 different triangles here. If you can see this. My very poor outlining. So we got 3 different triangles here, all right? That's my very poor outlining. Alrighty, so I'm actually going to erase this right now just so we can clearly see my writing up here. I want you, if you can try it, you can try it. Pause the video here, and I want you to complete this triangle right here. And by that, I mean I want you to find these 2 angles, if you can. All right, pause the video here. All right, did you give it a try? Alrighty, let's check this out. And I'm actually gonna try this one in one fellow swoop. All right, so the first angle that catches my eye is this guy right here. And so we don't necessarily have to solve for, or that's not one we have to necessarily find, but I think it's very helpful for you to find X in this case, all right? So here we see this is a straight line right here, and any straight line equals 180 degrees, right? So we know the other half of this angle is 92 degrees, all right? So stick with me here. We're finding this angle right here, and we know this angle. So let's take 180, the total angle, subtract the part of the angle that we know, and this angle would come out to be 88 degrees, all right? That's this guy right here. All right, so we know 2 of these angles of this triangle now. So how do we find this one? Well, we set up all the angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So if we do 88 plus 36, because we have this angle right here, and that equals 124. So we're almost to 180 degrees. Now we have to do 180 minus 124 to find X, right? That's our missing angle. So that would be 56 degrees. So that is our X. Not too painful, right? All of these, keep in mind, all of these triangles have to be 180 degrees in total, right? All right, let's continue on. So let's see. I'm actually going to look at, and I'm going to erase this work right here just to unclog the space. So we said this guy was 88 degrees. All right. I like to keep the angle measures in there just for future reference. All right. So I'm actually going to look at the triangle, this whole thing. I'm going to look at this whole thing. All right. So we know this whole thing, the whole triangle, all of it still has to, all three angles still have to be 180 degrees, right? Well, we know this guy is 36. We know this guy is 16, right? And we know part of this one. We know part of it. All right. And there's a couple ways you could attack this. You could actually start out by, and if you like looking at the smaller triangles, then this way might work better for you. All right. So we know this guy is 92, and we know this guy is 15. We want to find this guy. All right. So let's do 92 plus 15. And that equals 93. But hang on, we're not done yet. Because that gives us how many away we are from 180, right? So we got to do 180 minus 93, which is 87. So this guy is 87 right here, 87 degrees. All right. That gives us another one. What about, so we're trying to get to y now. We're trying to get to y, and we don't know this angle, so we can't quite check out that triangle yet. However, I want to look at this angle right here. All right. So we know we have this 56 and we have our 87, and we see this is a straight line right here, so that also has to be 180 degrees in total, right? And we know two of the angles in that 180 degrees, we have to complete it. So we're going to do 56 plus 87. And what does that equal? 143. And hang on, we're not done yet because that angle doesn't look like 143 degrees, right? So you got to do 180 minus 143. And that is 37 degrees. So this guy is 37 degrees. Now we have our tools to solve for y. Now we have our tools to solve for y. So we said that guy's 37. Pause the video here and try to solve for y. Did you do it? All right, let's check this out. So we know we have this 116 and we have our 37. We're trying to find y. We want to get to y. What do? Well, we know this whole triangle has to be 180 degrees, right? So let's do, we have 37 degrees plus 116. 116, that's an ugly 116 degrees. And that equals what? That equals 153. But hang on, this y is not 150 degrees, right? That doesn't even look like 150 degrees. It's not a very big angle. So we got to do 180 minus 153. You got to see how far away we are from 180 degrees. And that is 27 degrees. So that is your y. All right, I know that one was a bit of a puzzle, so that one you have to try and keep organized. All right, hopefully these made sense to you. I want you to try for homework. I want you to do B and D of problem 119. This is your only homework, all right? And for extra credit, if you made it to the end of this video, for extra credit, comment on this post in Classroom. What is one awesome thing you did over your weekend? All right. Have an awesome day, guys. I will see you on Wednesday.